Hi guys, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Mike.
This is the Disney for Couples podcast. This is your hub of information about traveling to the Disney parks and having a ball just for adults.
Yeah.
We don't talk about packing diaper bags or stroller parking or height requirements here. This is a family-friendly podcast, but it's not for families. We're not talking about how to enjoy your time at Disney as a family. Disney is no place for kids.
Children at Walt Disney World is not what Walt wanted, contrary to popular
We're
belief.
completely sick of bubble wands. No, this is how we travel to Disney ourselves, and this is where our expertise lies. So we just want to help the adults out there, the Disney adults, have a great time at our favorite parks on Earth.
That's right. Well, today we are going to be talking about something rather specific. Mm-hmm. It is the how, when, and where of eating healthy at Epcot.
At Epcot.
Yes.
A good place to talk about because Epcot has a lot of food choices thanks to the World Showcase and festivals. But even if there's not a festival, tons and tons of places to eat.
Why don't we get started by maybe you telling the people the way that we like to eat or have to eat at Disney World?
Yeah, totally. And it's changed a lot. So Mike and I started going to Disney World together about 4+ years ago. Going to Disney in the beginning for us. Now, I'm a Disney parks goer for my whole life. I've gone since I was a child. Mike has gone mainly in his adulthood. But for both of us, when we started traveling together, it was like very food heavy. We had such a good time like trying everything. I mean, we would get cocktails, we would get desserts, we would bring stuff back to the hotel, we would try sit down restaurants and quick service eateries, and we just like eating like it is for a lot of people was a really big part of how we traveled to Disney together.
Totally.
And then a couple years ago, that kind of changed. I ended up having to go gluten-free. I'm also like dairy-free almost entirely when I'm being good about it. And that started about a month before we went on a big family vacation to Disney World.
That was a big concern.
It was a whole thing. Thank God Disney is really good with dietary restrictions, especially allergies. But that kind of changed how I ate and by, extension, how Mike ate. And ever since when we've gone to Disney, we definitely enjoy the foods we eat. We have our things that we love. I love the popcorn. The popcorn at Disney is my favorite. You love the Mickey pretzels. We have a couple things at the confectionery that we like to get, but we stopped doing a ton of sit-down meals. We even stopped doing a lot of quick service in the parks. We'll do like a couple meals in the parks, maybe not even that many, a few, depending upon how long our trip is, maybe we'll do like 2 sit-down meals or 3 or none. And we just generally stopped making the center of the trip eating. Plus, when it's so hot, like neither one of us really wants to eat that much.
Yeah, especially at Epcot, a lot of the food in the World Showcase specifically, you're outside getting a lot of that grub. So if you eat one item, you're kind of like ready to get heat.
Yeah, even the times that we've gone to like one of the festivals and we're like, oh, for dinner tonight, we're just going to like eat in the World Showcase. We think we're going to end up at, 6 places to get, because they're like little. The festival food are like tapas almost. And we still only we'll have 1 or 2 and we're like, we're done. Like we'll eat later at the hotel, or we have food and, food waiting in the room or whatever. So when I had to look into all the gluten-free and dairy-free things, because these dietary restrictions occurred at the same exact time, and I had to prepare to go to Disney with, how many were there? How many of us went? 6?
6.
I had to prepare to go to Disney with 5 other people who don't have dietary restrictions, and I didn't want to be holding everything up. So we had to do a lot of research into like where to get certain foods, and gluten-free and dairy-free foods often are also the healthier options.
Right.
Now, not always. It's kind of like, vegan and vegetarian foods aren't always the healthiest foods. But in general, once you remove the gluten and the dairy, there's not that much that's bad. From. Right. Yeah. So we kind of know a bit about where to get certain healthier options, or even just how to kind of go anywhere in Disney World, but like make the healthier choices.
So maybe we'll do it a bit like this. Imagine that we're doing a Disney for couples adventure in Epcot. Let's say we walk into, so the first part of the park used to be known as Future World, and then it was changed to 3 distinct world pavilions: World Showcase, World Discovery, and World Nature.
Right. Just like Epcot proper.
Yeah, yeah.
Non-World Showcase Epcot.
That's the best way to put it. What tips, tricks would you give to the people about eating healthy in that part of the park?
Yeah, well, there's Sunshine Seasons. Now, through the years, I think the quality of food at Sunshine Seasons has gone down. I didn't notice that exactly, but when we went with the family, everybody said it because everybody had eaten there.
Really?
For years, yeah.
Oh.
But no matter. Like, I actually don't think much of the food in Disney World is like great.
High quality, yeah.
Yeah, so I would probably choose getting something that's on the healthier side, even if it wasn't like as great tasting, just simply to like, you know, take care of myself in the park. So Sunshine Seasons has a lot of options. They have grab and go food, and then they have a few different stands. So you kind of have your choice. I always just think of the Land Pavilion and Epcot as being like a little healthier. That's where,
yeah, more or less,
Living with the Land is. That's where the Garden Grill is, which is a family style restaurant. But I think they use a lot of the ingredients from Living with the Land. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's more than just like burgers and fries.
Yeah. And the Coral Reef restaurant that's across from the Land Pavilion, like on the other side of it almost, serves some of the fish that are harvested in the fish farms in Living with the Land.
Unfortunately, that restaurant doesn't have a good reputation and like never has, as far as I've known. So go at your own risk, but if you're dying for seafood, there's probably some healthy options there. And now there's the new bar, which is very expensive, but they have some tapas.
Yeah. Yep.
And
GO83.
Yeah, and when we saw the menu, when we were watching Tim or Nate or both of them or whatever going there, the menu looked like it had some elevated non-park food options. Yeah. You know, like not just the normal fried stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There's also the cafe.
The
Connections, which we've actually never eaten there. We've gone to like the Starbucks side.
Yeah, they have do they have flatbreads? I feel like I don't
know.
Yeah, we're not the best source for this.
Well, worth a look. You can get the menu online. It's really easy to get an updated menu on the Disney site. Mm-hmm. And besides that, you know, Space 220 we've never had luck getting in there.
We're not allowed in.
We cannot for the life of us get a reservation for 2, not even for the lounge. But that's worth a look. I have not heard good things about the food, so I think of that as being more of like an experience than that you're going there for like the food choices, you know?
Right.
And what else is there in Epcot to eat?
When they're having festivals, there will be booths in
the
main part of the park and the World Showcase. Right.
Yeah. There's usually there's like the French fry booth, and there's the wings. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep. The Odyssey. Well, that's what the Odyssey building.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, now put on your boots and let's go over to World Showcase. And
okay.
Do you want to do?
I don't want to wear boots.
Okay.
Do I have to wear boots in Florida?
No.
That's a ridiculous thing to wear.
But I thought we would start in Mexico and make our way around the World Showcase and kind of talk about some of the featured better spots to enjoy something on the healthier side.
Okay, but real quick, because you said start in Mexico, that's like a whole thing. You're not on Disney social media like I am, but that's like a whole thing. Which way do you start? Which way do you prefer to start?
Canada.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody starts in Canada.
Yeah, and also too, there's quite a bit of bottlenecking in Mexico. And I am cranky, and that bothers me quickly.
All the time because it's hot. Yeah, and I would rather walk against the stream in Mexico and remove myself from it than walk with it and kind of be with those people like the whole time as you go to circle the World Showcase. So yeah, Canada is also my choice. Plus, I love the Canada Pavilion.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
But for today's purposes, we're
going the other way.
We're starting in Mexico.
Yep. So heading on over to Mexico, as far as healthy food items, it's tough because
it's a little tough.
Yeah. You're dealing with a lot of Mexican heavy cuisine, so a lot of cheese, a lot of salsa, and
salsa's pretty healthy.
True.
But yeah, a lot of heavy stuff. We don't actually like a lot of the food in Mexico.
Feel healthy inside.
Yeah. We don't like the restaurant. We did not have a good experience at the restaurant in any way. The food wasn't good. The service wasn't good. There was a really long wait. So we don't bother with that. There is that little tequila bar. So if you want tequila instead of like a sugary margarita, that would be a quote unquote healthier option. And then outside are the 2 stands where you can get food and margaritas. Now there's the big stand. That's if the Mexico Pavilion is on your left, the stand is on your right. We don't like the food or the drinks there as much. But little insider tip, you can walk into that building and there's indoor seating and air conditioning, which like nobody knows about. And I don't know that you have to be like have ordered from there to sit in there. I think it's kind of like most places in Epcot where it's like open. What we really like is the little stand. If you're looking at the pavilion, it's right to the left of like the Mexican, the big Mexican pavilion. It's just like a little margarita stand, but they do have some food, and that's where my brother ordered Mexican street corn, even though it wasn't on the menu. So if Mexican street corn is your version of healthy, you can get it there. And lastly, I'm sorry.
You may say what I'm about to say.
I really like it there because we get chips and guacamole. Now, chips are not healthy, but for somebody who's gluten-free, you can have corn chips. And the chips and guacamole there are really, really good. So it's kind of like a little bit of a treat snack without, feeling sick if you don't tolerate gluten well.
Right. In my notes, when we had kind of orchestrated the section together, we went through Norway and China without really featuring anything. And I think that's because with Norway, it's like baked goods mostly, right?
Yeah, we also don't know. We've never eaten in the North.
Yeah,
I think there's a
source
restaurant there, right? I don't know. We've eaten.
Not a good source.
Is the bakery there where I got that school bread?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the bakery is delicious, but it can't go on the list. That will go on our list in our baked goods episode. So school bread is one of the best things I've ever had, but it could not be less healthy.
And we haven't eaten in China at all.
We haven't eaten in China. I know, because we have not heard good things about the restaurant. And I always want to eat at the Chinese restaurant. I love Chinese food.
We'll have to make a point of it on the next
trip.
We'll
have to just go and try, and maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised.
Now, for Germany, there's, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Biergarten. Is
that the restaurant?
I believe so.
Okay.
And that's a buffet, and you have a lot to say about that.
I love that buffet. Yeah. It's that restaurant is really cool. It looks like you're outside. And there's a stage and there's performers. It's just a really great experience. And there's a buffet, and in general, I think that buffets can kind of go on like the healthy side of the list because you can pick and choose what you want.
Sure.
So there's usually a handful of things that are healthy. You could get like, roasted potatoes and vegetables and maybe just some kind of like meat or fish without like anything fried. And you can have as much of the healthy stuff as you want and leave the rest aside if you want. So I always think that it's much easier to eat healthy when you have that many choices.
Sure.
And if my memory is like serving me well, the Biergarten has a lot of like meat, like sausage and stuff.
Bratwurst.
But if you eat like when, I kind of basically have to eat paleo, paleo, like dietary restrictions automatically remove gluten, sugar, and dairy. And there's like a lot of options there for that kind of eating.
Right.
So, yeah.
So we also have in our notes here that if you're looking for a sweet treat, going over to Caramel Couche might be a nice idea.
Oh, yes. So one of the things that I do not mind eating, even if I'm being very strict with my with my food choices is popcorn, because it's like not, doesn't feel the same as if you're eating something baked. It's kind of like on the lower calorie side. Now, again, this isn't healthy. It's not like this is the same as eating strawberries, but Caramel Couche, which is just the world's best place ever. It's where they have all of the Werther's brand caramel treats.
Everything.
It's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah. They have really delicious caramel popcorn, not kettle corn, which I don't like. It's just caramel popcorn.
Yeah. Yep. So we leave Germany. One of the next countries that we venture to is Japan, which I actually think is the next country after Germany. I might be wrong about that. But now we're in Japan, and it's a bit tough here, but there's the udon soup.
Yeah, you're talking about the quick service restaurant.
Yep.
Yeah, the quick service restaurant I really like. The last time we went, the menu was different, and I thought the food was a little bit better. I never get the sushi there. Unfortunately, that would probably be one of the healthier things to get.
And why don't you get it?
I just don't like it. We've had it a number of times. I never think it tastes good. It's not like it's like bad. It's not like I feel like, oh, I'm eating like bad sushi. It just doesn't taste very good. And even when we were waiting online, and do you remember we were talking to that woman from Georgia?
South Carolina or something.
Something like that. Yeah. She said, what do you suggest? And I said, well, I don't think you could go wrong with whatever I suggested. And I said, but I said, the sushi is unfortunately not good. And she said, yeah, she said that she had like read that or something.
She said ChatGPT told her that it wasn't good.
Did she?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like something you would say.
No, it was her.
Well, whatever it was, she said that like she had heard that. So, but I think of Japanese food as kind of being a little bit on the healthier side. Now, teriyaki sauce and fried stuff isn't healthy, but when we went, I got like wings, and you got,
I got a kids meal.
Oh yeah, you got the kids meal. That's a great tip. If you don't want to like, if you don't want to eat too much, if you get really full on the quick service meals or like whatever, for whatever reason, even if you want to just save money, one of our favorite tips is to get a kids meal. You do not have to be a kid. You don't have to have a kid. You can just order a kids meal. The portions are still pretty good. You get a couple sides. They have healthier options. You can usually get like fruit on the side if you want, and you can get a bottle of water. So you don't even have to have like a soft drink.
And mine came with a cookie.
Yours came with a cookie.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. I think they also have like gluten-free. Actually, they're gluten-free brownies, which you can get at a lot of places, are surprisingly good. So, yeah. So you got the kids meal.
Yeah. And if you're going over to the main, how many main restaurants are there? One or two?
In Japan? 2, I think. I think. But one of them has a hibachi table.
Well, where did we eat?
I know
on that trip a while back.
I don't remember. Okay. I mean, I don't remember the name of it because there's like different names for different restaurants, and something opened and closed that year.
Well, the restaurant that we went to had hibachi.
It was a place with a hibachi table, whatever that place is called.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always think of hibachi as being, there's a lot of oil, but like it's basically, meat and veggies and rice. So
right.
You could do worse than that. Yep. Great dessert that you can get if you're staying away from dairy in Japan is the kakigori. It's shaved ice with different flavored syrups. It's delicious. I always get the melon one with like,
you really
different.
like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's delicious.
So when we go over to America, because I
think
that
next?
I believe Italy is next, but I don't think that we thought there was a good healthy, unless you want like a Caesar salad.
Which isn't healthy.
Yeah, yeah.
But Italy, that restaurant in Italy is excellent. It's a gorgeous
restaurant. Oh, yes.
And it's delicious.
Yeah. So if you want to be bad.
Not the nice Italian restaurant, just like the middle of the road Italian restaurant. We really, really like. Because most of the World Showcase countries have a quick service and then like a normal restaurant and then a fancy restaurant. And is it Via Napoli?
I think, yeah.
Or am I mixing it up with...
No, you're mixing that with Disneyland.
No, that's Naples.
Oh, yes.
I think the place in Disney World is Via Napoli. It's like the pizza place. And they also have a window that you can walk up to. But we went and like we sat and ate. It's a place with the 3 pizza ovens. No, the 3 pizza ovens that look like men.
Yeah,
and they're named after the volcanoes. Anyway, that restaurant, which I think is called Via Napoli, is where I had the best pizza of my whole life. I love that restaurant.
Yeah, I remember you enjoying that.
But we can't talk about it for the...
Right.
Just erase that from your memory, everybody. It's bad. Terribly bad for you.
Now we're going to America, and they've Regal Eagle.
Yeah.
And that's... You can work something out there.
Yeah. So tip for my gluten-free friends. Now, I don't know exactly if that barbecue sauce is gluten-free. You'd have to look. Again, like we said before, Disney is very, very good about telling you the dietary restrictions and allergens and everything. But a lot of the time, barbecue sauce is gluten-free. So you could have, a meat and barbecue sauce and veggies on the side and like get away with that kind of a meal. It's delicious. And also like if you're staying away from gluten would satisfy that.
Most certainly. So yes. And you forgot to mention the sink from heaven.
The sink from heaven?
At Regal Eagle Steakhouse.
Oh, they do the best. So I want every single quick service spot in all of Disney World to do this. This is brilliant. My biggest pet peeve of going to eat in public anywhere is if you get messy and you have to go into the restroom after to wash your hands. I do not want to walk into a public bathroom right after I'm done eating. Right. But when you're eating barbecue especially, it's a mess, Regal Eagle has a sink right in the restaurant.
Front left.
It's right. If you're looking at the cashier, it's on your left with soap and paper towels, and you can wash up and you don't have to step foot in the bathroom.
Don't tell anyone.
It's so smart. It's really just so smart.
Yes. All right. So now we're leaving America, and we had said here in our notes that Morocco is kind of maybe one of the best options all around.
Yeah, we haven't really eaten there. When we ate at the restaurant, which I love, we had the dessert platter.
And we waited forever.
Yeah, but it was worth it because that's my favorite dessert. Like in all of Disney, or those desserts are like almond heavy. But yeah, I imagine that the food there. I mean, I've seen it. Like I know what they serve. They serve like, curries and things like that. But we can't say that it's good, but I imagine it's on the healthier side. It reminds me a lot of the stuff you can get in Animal Kingdom. Suggestion: if you're drinking in Morocco, in fake Morocco, they have the fig. What is it? It's the fig mule. Fig mule, delicious. You can just go into the restaurant. But they have a walk-up bar, so you can just go in, order, and then take your drink to go. We didn't get it last time, but we love that drink.
Yeah. We also don't really have anything in the way of notes for France or the UK or for Canada, but from our knowledge,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, what's first? France. Okay, we have never eaten in.
We tried.
Chez Paul is the place where our friends Kara and Paul, ironically, went to eat, which is neither healthy nor not healthy because there's like 1,000 courses. So it's incredible, but we wouldn't be able to say either way. We've never eaten at the French restaurant, although I think my parents have, or my brother has, and
your dad and
long time ago.
Yeah.
And the one time we tried to get into the creperie, it was the world's worst experience. We waited for ever. It was horrible. Remember, we didn't even go.
We didn't go. Yep.
So we could not tell you one way or another. Although I always we'll circle back around the World Showcase and kind of talk about the festival stands quickly. But I always like the festival stand in France.
Yes.
Like every time.
Yes.
What's next?
The UK and Canada.
Impossible.
Yeah,
The UK is like
UK
fried fish.
Yeah.
And fried fries. Yeah. So that's a non-starter in terms of staying healthy. But I've eaten it.
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah.
And then
Canada.
Okay, so I've heard really good things about the steakhouse in Canada, and I was actually talking a little bit in depth with somebody the other day on Instagram or TikTok about the steakhouse, and they said it was really, really good. And steak, not for everybody, but for somebody like me who's like anemic and tries to eat more paleo a lot of the time, steak is a great thing to have. So it would be on my healthy list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on to the next section, I just wanted to quickly mention the festival stand. So if there's a festival happening, which there is almost all of the time, there's a very short window where there's not. And even if it's not the food and wine festival, the festival is going to have a lot of food. So the art festival has food that's done more artistically. The garden festival has food that maybe has edible flowers or something like that. But there's going to be food, which means there's going to be food stands.
Yes.
So every country in the World Showcase will have the normal stands and eateries and restaurants they normally have, plus a festival stand where you can usually get like there's like 3 different tapas plates to choose from. And there's usually like a beer and a wine and sometimes a cocktail. So if you're trying to eat healthy, you can get the guide. When you get into Epcot, you can get the guide with all of the menus. It's hard to stay allergen free there because those stands are not necessarily run by Disney, I don't think. I think a lot of them come from like outside Disney. It's not that easy to eat allergen free. But if you just want to eat healthy or vegan, because I think there are signs if something is vegan, there's a lot of options. So you might not find something healthy at every stand, but overall, you can absolutely piece together healthy meals or healthy things to eat. And a lot of the stands, like I said, will have a champagne or a wine. So if you're avoiding sugary drinks, like really sugary drinks or beer, it's very possible to do that when there's a festival.
So next up, we're going to talk about different exercise options if you're staying on Disney property and you happen to be staying in the Epcot area of the whole resort.
Okay, you mean exercise options on top of the 13,000 to 25,000 steps people walk every day.
That's true. Yes.
I hear you.
Yep. So for Epcot, in terms of Epcot resorts, you have the Yacht Club and Beach Club, the Boardwalk, and the Swan and Dolphin.
Okay.
And each of those resorts has a walking path. It's actually interconnected around.
Really?
Yep. It's called Crescent Lake. So I believe that body of water that we see at the boardwalk and I believe that's what that is. And when I looked, it was like a 1.6 mile or 1.7 mile path that you could take all around the different hotels.
So you're not talking about just like walking on the boardwalk and connecting to the other side. There's actually like a dedicated place to walk and go.
I think I am. I think that's part of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe that's part of it. Yeah.
Well, that's probably really nice in the morning to get up and like go for a run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then each of the hotels have some kind of gym or fitness center. So the Yacht Club and Beach Club actually share one. It's called Ship Shape Health Club. The Boardwalk has its own, which is called Muscles and Bustles. And the Swan and Dolphin, it being not exactly controlled by Disney,
right,
has a main. So the Swan and the Dolphin each have a sort of like a standard health club, and then it looked like there was like a elite tier health club too, either shared or I'm not sure if that was shared or per each resort.
So if you're not staying at a Disney resort, you can go to any Disney resort anytime you want. You don't even have to be going to Disney. You can be like vacationing in Orlando for another reason and go to Disney and go to one of the resorts and like go on the walking paths or the running paths or whatever. You will not be able to use the gyms, but if you like know that you're going to work out on your vacation, you might want to really pick, a combination of like where you're going to want to run outside and what gyms are you going to want to use and like pick your hotel that way.
Right. Yep. And also too, we know that Disney is really big on the marathon events.
Oh yeah, Run Disney.
Yeah. So if you're participating in a Run Disney event, ignore this podcast and eat all the calories that you want.
Yeah, eat as much. Go to that Italian restaurant.
Load up
on pasta, on your carbs. Also, whether or not you're doing Run Disney, we know this because we were trying to find walking paths the last time we were there. You can go online and you can find Run Disney training paths that will take you throughout different parts of like Walt Disney World. And, you know, it's good to just, if you just want like something different that you wouldn't be able to kind of figure out on your own, you could follow one of those paths. We also really like the walking paths in Celebration.
Are you ready for the Disney thing of the week?
Sure am.
Oh, boy. So
I don't have anything prepared.
Well, I have it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's right here. Where else in the U.S. would you like to see a Disney park?
Oh, here. Like New York, like, you know, next door.
by the gas station.
Like in the upper part of our development, like they could get rid of that and put a Disney park.
That's true.
I mean, I would love to see a Disney park in like upstate New York. Yeah, because we could drive to it and there's a lot of space up there. And I'm into a Disney park that experiences the Four Seasons, like in Paris.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
And that doesn't close, but just experiences it.
Imagine it being open in the winter.
Yeah.
Like when it's not a blizzard.
Yeah, and upstate New York isn't that expensive.
Nice.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Disney. They're opening a fifth park, but like in Disney World.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, that's a great answer. I would love pop-up experiences.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But done.
Right, I'll go.
Done by Disney. Like if Disney said, you know, for a week, we're going to put up this pretty great attraction in this fairly easy to access metropolitan area. You know, I would like that.
Okay. You know what would be really smart? Disney marketing team.
What?
Listen up.
Listen.
If they did. Okay. So how many times have we been like sitting at home and we're like, oh my God, this new Disney thing, I want to go. I think we literally booked a trip one time because we really wanted to go on Guardians of the Galaxy. And I also think we booked a trip like 50% because we really wanted a LeFou's Brew.
That sounds like us.
The non-alcoholic drink that you could make at home.
Right.
I think that they should do pop-up experiences all around the country or the world, but like definitely the country. Come to New York of new things in the parks so that when you're like, oh, I really want to experience that thing, you get like a taste of it, literally or figuratively. And I bet that would drive attendance. Not that they need to drive attendance. The parks are overcrowded. They're letting way too many people in, but they want to drive attendance. But like, imagine if there was a pop-up and there was, I don't know, like new merch that you can only get in Disney, but just like part of the collection. And maybe like, you know, if they have 3 new drinks somewhere, you can get one of them, and then like, or a sample or something like that. Or even like some kind of ride experience, like a virtual version of a ride, and you can experience it. And then they have somebody there that will book your ticket and give you a discount if you sign up on the spot. I would go. I mean, I'm talking myself into it now, and there's no pop-up. Yep. So like, I think that would drive. Yeah.
Very good idea.
Marketing team, you can have, that's my free one to you.
Okay. And are you ready now for the final segment?
Yeah.
It's called Countdown to Halloween. I don't actually have an official Halloween countdown.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
there are 3. I believe there's 3. Yes, there are 3 questions that I'm going to ask you.
All right.
And maybe I'll share my own opinions.
Why are we counting down to Halloween in June?
Because that's the Disney thing to do.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't love it. I like yours. I don't love the halfway to Halloween thing.
Yeah. Disney when do they start in like August?
Yeah.
Do they start doing things in August? No.
Hey, shameless drop. If you guys want Haunted Mansion stickers, go to magicalstickershop.com or Magical Sticker Store on Etsy. We have Haunted Mansion cast member outfits, guy and girl, stickers, vinyl waterproof stickers. We have the ghost dog leash from the 90s. We have the stretching room ceiling. And now we have Madame Leota with bright green eyes looking gorge.
Oh, yeah. And we also, if you like Tower of Terror,
yeah,
have Tower of Terror stuff.
We have the Tower of Terror.
Yep.
We have the Tower of Terror cast member.
Uh-huh.
We have a hotel bell.
Uh-huh.
And we also have a service elevator that goes to floor 13, which you're not supposed to do.
Oh, no.
Yeah, magicalstickershop.com.
Are you ready for your spooky questions?
Sure am.
Let's pretend ghosts are definitely real.
They're definitely real.
Dad,
pretend. You're listening. This is for you.
What parts of Walt Disney World do you think are the most haunted?
Ooh. All right. I'm going to have to think. All right. Well, the obvious answer is a haunted mansion. So I'm not going to say the haunted mansion because that's just too obvious. But I am going to say Liberty Square.
Yeah.
Just because it feels like a place where there would be haunts.
Yes.
Wait, I want to pick like one other place.
Yeah, and I have one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, how about like, what's the oldest hotel? You know, I'm going to say the Polynesian is haunted.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like it's haunted.
Oh, yeah. My part of Disney World that I think is definitely haunted is the bathroom behind Imagination.
You love that bathroom.
But I believe it's haunted.
Okay, maybe that's why it's always empty.
I think it's like a nexus to the afterlife.
All right, cool, sure.
Now, what parts of Walt Disney World are definitely not haunted?
Not haunted?
Yes.
The circus.
Yep.
The circus.
Yep.
The circus could frankly use something a little bit cooler, like a ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I also think that I don't think Disney Springs is haunted.
No.
I think it's way too commercial for any kind of for anything that's not going to make them money.
Yeah. I think, to go back to the other question, I feel like Main Street in Disneyland.
Main Street is super haunted.
Is really haunted.
Totally haunted.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Walt Disney is just all over.
Walking around.
All over that place.
Eating hot dogs.
Buying balloons.
Measuring how long it takes to get from trash A to trash B.
He's measuring how long it takes to eat a hot dog so that he can eat it and then throw it away at the perfect.
Right.
Which... history lesson is exactly how they how they figured out how to space the
trash cans.
The trash cans. He's also looking at the trash cans, patting himself on the back for creating the trash can door that swung both ways, which was a it came from his brain. It was a creation or patent or something of his that kind of.
And he's also
it's super haunted there.
And he's also looking around going, where did all these kids come from? I didn't make this place for children.
This is Disneyland for couples. Why did the kids come here? I actually adore Disneyland, especially that part, because it feels like Walt's presence. You know, ghost or not, I'll take it.
And my final question, what parts of Walt Disney World do you want to be haunted?
Ooh, any hotel I'm not staying in.
Yep.
The ghost can just move from hotel to hotel.
Okay.
And I really don't want Animal Kingdom to be haunted. I just don't. Animal Kingdom.
So you don't want it to, because the question was, what do you want to be haunted?
The question was, what do I want to be haunted?
Yeah.
Did I answer right the first time about the hotels? Any hotel I'm not in?
Yeah.
Oh, I got all mixed up.
You silly.
Where do I want ghosts?
Yes.
I want one ghost in the Haunted Mansion.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want to know where it is. I just want to know one of these is real.
Okay.
That's what I want.
That's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
I want the utilidors to be haunted.
Like underneath?
Yeah.
They are haunted. They're definitely.
Well, extra.
Most definitely.
I want slime to be dripping from the walls and
you want like a 90s
scary
movie haunting.
noises all the time.
Okay. Yeah. You want a Ghostbusters haunting.
Yes, I do.
Got it.
Yep.
All right.
Well, that's our last segment of the day, kids.
I love it. You
Alrighty.
turned me on Halfway to Halloween. Now I want to engage with Halfway to Halloween.
Now it's
stuff.
on. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Go to DisneyForCouples.com for more, and go shopping for waterproof vinyl stickers inspired by Disney parks at MagicalStickerShop.com. We're also on Etsy, and the shop name is Magical Sticker Store. Make sure to stay young, just like Walt would want.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.